It's go time. Welcome to the Rockstar-a-thon, day 2. So excited to bring you some amazing organizers from all across the country, and you get to hear their stories and be inspired by them just like I am. So I have a few of my clients from over the years, and some recent, some from the past, who are here to share what's really possible when you go all in on your organizing business. So if you're an organizer listening to this, I would love if you would comment and just say, hey, maybe tell me where you're listening from. And I hope that you find yourself in one of these stories. So the very first person that I have up is none other than the Vibe, Paige Carey. Welcome, Paige. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
So good. It's good to see you. I love your little rock star sign in the back there. I'm a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in Windsor, Colorado, up in northern Colorado, not too far outside of Fort Collins. And I started working with you, what, about a year ago or so?
Yep, 1 year ago.
Yeah, so tell me where you were right before you came into Rockstar Organizers. Where were you at as an organizer? What was going on?
Sure. So I had been organizing for about 4.5 years, and I did have a team of a few people, but I felt a little stuck on how to make the next steps and how to continue to grow and get new clients. So even though I had a team and I'd been around for a while, I just felt like I needed some help in the next step of growth.
For sure. Yeah. And who are your favorite type of people to work with? I'm curious.
So I love to work with busy professionals because I can relate to them. Busy moms who have a career and have kids and love both and want to do both well. And I can really relate to them. So I really love helping them get their workflow going and just feel better about themselves at home and at work.
Absolutely. Definitely relatable. And you're a mom of 3 girls, is that right?
3 girls.
Yeah. I'm the middle of 3 girls, so I understand this dynamic well. We talked a little bit about that in the Austin retreat. I remember that.
We did. I like to pick everyone's brain about middle children.
Oh, yes.
Especially all 3 the same gender.
So, oh, yes. Yeah. You can pick my brain any day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something fun that we have in common. So you came in where you were 4.5 years in business. You were looking to grow. Mm-hmm. You had some teammates that you wanted to keep busy. I actually hear that from people quite often. It's like, hey, I've got some people who are willing to work, but I feel like I don't have enough work to keep them busy. What do I do? Mm-hmm. And it feels like, I don't know, you tell me, but does it feel like there's a lot of changes to make and you weren't really sure where to start, or kind of what problems were you having?
I after 4.5 years, I was getting a lot of repeat business from same clients, but I wasn't seeing new clients come in as frequently as I wanted. So I really wanted help getting kind of that influx of new faces and new people to hear about me. So that's really what I was looking for. How do I get more business?
Exactly. Exactly. It's every entrepreneur's question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we connected and there was something, I don't remember what it was, or you tell me, but what did you see within Rockstar Organizers that you felt could help you along your path?
I felt like your program with the package pricing and the getting more clients every month was something I was interested in. And then once I joined and started the program, it's really just like seeking what you want, what's important to you. And then also I think the first steps of finding your niche are really important as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you feel like you found yours and you know who you're trying to reach out to
Mm-hmm.
now?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think it was really helpful to find your niche and just speak to them, because when I'm shopping for even like shopping for someone to design my website, it's I landed on a page and I thought, oh, they're speaking right to me. This is the person for me. And that's how
Yes,
we want to be for our clients. We want them to land on our page, our Facebook page, our Instagram, or our website, and feel like, oh, this is the person for me. I have to hire her.
absolutely. Yeah, I love that. You want your clients to feel like you're in their head.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So you jumped in the community, you made a few new friends, you got into a pod, y'all met in person, or at least some of the rock stars
Yeah,
did
yeah.
get together in Colorado last summer. So you made some
Yep.
new friends. And what's your experience of the community been like? I'm curious.
So that's been one of my favorite things is as organizers, we don't have networking groups for ourselves in our towns like realtors do, or other groups that have a lot of people in the industry. So that's been a great thing, is connecting with other people. And then, yes, like you said, you get connected with a pod, which is like three people that you meet with once a week and really get to know well. And they help you with accountability and ideas and things like that. So that's been great. And then meeting more people outside of that, that when we were in Momentum together or TVB, and now we, talk frequently, do FaceTimes frequently and things like that, to just help each other in business. And been it's felt so great to be supported by other organizers around the country that aren't actually your competition, which is nice. So you're welcome to share ideas and encourage each other and have that community.
Absolutely. And even go country line dancing with some of in Austin.
So country line dancing, or you just never know what connections you're going to have. One gal came to Windsor to visit a friend, and then we met for coffee.
Oh,
So
who was that? Was that Shannon
that
or?
was Shannon.
Oh, I love
Yeah, her
Shannon.
best friend lives in Windsor, Colorado. So we met
Shut the
for
front door.
coffee last summer.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. I think I
yeah,
saw her mention she was going to come see you again or something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you and Ashley seem to have hit it off too. You and Ashley
And
Crumbo.
Ashley is in my pod.
Yep.
And then we were at retreat together. So that's been really great too, to have that support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the wins that you've had? The community is obviously huge, just not feeling
Hmm.
like you got to do it alone and having people to talk to,
Yeah.
having some accountability and people to bounce ideas around with.
Hmm.
And what are some of the wins that you felt you've had for your business since we've been working together?
Well, I think the first win is figuring out my niche and feeling confident in that. I think another win is being confident in sales. Like who knew we had to be good at selling things, right? We're good organizers. Oh wait, we have to sell too. So your sales scripts and the what you provide through Nikki, that's all been incredible. Just learning the sales process and having everything set up for you. So when you get on a consult with someone, you know the steps to follow to close the sale, because that's what we need to be good at to get the business. So that's been a great win. And then also packages were great, because before that I was just kind of floundering with my pricing. So it was great to just have the packages nailed down. It makes sense to clients. They understand it and it's straightforward. You have prices on your website. I feel like that's been really helpful. So I think those three things in this program have been my greatest wins of what I've learned new and implemented in my business.
Yeah, I love that. And what results have you seen as a result of implementing those things?
So I would say more consistent business and more consistent income with the way things work, with like setting up the deposit first, and then when your job is finished, collecting the rest. Just having those systems in place. I would say from my biggest month before starting Rockstar Organizers to then starting Rockstar Organizers, I doubled my income.
Wow.
On my biggest months, like my biggest month before, and I doubled it to be my biggest month for Rockstars.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's not only a win for you, it's a win for your clients because you're helping more people. And then it's a win for your team because you're able to give them, those local moms that you love to work with, you love to give them some work. And what has it made possible for your life to be able to have that double income?
I think it's been great to just help out with family expenses. You know, my kids are in a lot of sports. They play club sports. They do. Well, my one daughter is equestrian eventing. That's very expensive. You know, my other daughter is club basketball. She travels for that. So just to help with some things and offload that from my spouse has been really helpful. And to just have money to like go get my nails done, girl.
Yeah, girl. They look cute.
That's a new thing. I never did my nails before. So that's been like I'm going to try this, but like I pay it for it myself, you know? So that's been nice too.
I love that. It's the little things in life as a woman sometimes.
It is the little thing.
It makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up here, thank you so much for sharing your story. And is there anything that you would encourage somebody with who's maybe in a position that you were a year ago, looking for some support, looking for some help, and potentially even on the fence about coming into Rockstar Organizers? What kind of encouragement would you give them? Honest advice and encouragement.
I would say to them, just take the leap. You know, it's the best thing to do for your business. I had been in business 4.5 years before I made any kind of investment in my business. But it was a great thing to do once I did it, and took me a long time to do it and to launch into an investment like that. But once you do that and you take time to learn more about your business and how to make it more successful, it feels really good to invest in yourself in that way.
That's beautiful. I love that so much. Well, I know you've got to run, pick up your daughter. Thank you so much for popping on and sharing your story with us. And I'm sending you so much love. And I'll see you later.
Thanks, Holly.
All right. Toodles, Paige. Love her. Love me some Paige Carey. She's a whole vibe. That's what I told her when I saw her. You're the whole package. All right, Linda. Is that who we said we're doing next? Okay, I think so. All right, Linda, come on up, my friend. Linda, lauf. Lauf. Like the German, lauf. And we would like to point out that she has the no monsters sign above her head right there.
No monsters in this bed.
Was that an Emmett thing?
Yes.
7-year-old.
Yep.
Well, he's been a big part of your journey, hasn't he?
He's been the whole thing.
Tell us, girl. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, this is like back to newborn, quitting my teaching job and sitting on the couch, nap trapped. Like, what am I doing? Am I just sitting here every day, all day? Or, you know, what am I doing to help contribute financially and just have something for this next stage of my life? I was a teacher for 15 years. So now what? And sat nap trapped under that baby and watched all kinds of YouTube videos. I think I was watching like Pro Organizer Studio YouTube videos like back in the day, and how to start a business, and researching an LLC, all while nap trapped under my monster hating child up there. There's this little boy right there in that picture.
Aw, so sweet.
And yeah, and thus came about my business, and here we are.
And here we
Here
are.
we are.
Yeah, so I remember we connected. It seems like
2022. No.
well, you
March.
started working with me in March of 22, but
Yeah.
you had been stalking me for a while.
Oh yeah.
My
Since
videos.
yep, since you were backing up Tina the trailer in the snow somewhere. And I
Ann
was
Arbor,
like, this
Michigan.
lady is the real deal. It is like a blizzard out there. And she drug her team out, and she was talking about how they were happy to serve people no matter the weather. And I was like, you go. Yes.
Yes.
And then
That
I
was
started
exactly the
noticing you
vibe.
posting more, and I stalked you for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I went live on Facebook, and you would secretly watch my videos.
Yes.
And then whenever it came time to do the Dream Team Challenge back in March of 22,
Yeah.
I remember you were just all ears. It was like you were discovering cake for the first time. And
Yeah.
you implemented stuff immediately. Like you're like calling the team meeting on day 3 as soon as you learn about the pricing strategy. You're like, people, this is what we're doing now. And I love that about you.
It's
You're
so
just off
true.
to the races.
That is exactly how it happened.
Accurate.
Yeah.
And what kind of results did you see from implementing quickly?
I mean, I had been doing the discounted packaging thing. So I sort of was like, yeah, I'm doing packaging. That's what I'm doing already. But then I had this weird thing going where I would say, oh, I'm going to bring a helper with, I'm going to bring my assistant with. But I'm not, you don't pay for her to be there. That's at no extra charge to you. And because I just didn't know how to price it. I didn't know how to explain this other person that was coming with me. And
That's so
I
common.
really had like no idea. And then you came up with this whole thing that you presented on like a Tuesday night. And I was like, that makes so much sense. And this is why I have no money. I have no money, and I'm working so hard.
Yes.
And my team is working so hard, and I'm barely paying them. God bless them. They are still with me. I want to tell you that they are still here, those 2 ladies, which is
That's
like
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, so the big wins right away was with that sales challenge. And I think it was your month-long
Reboot.
the Dream Team, the 5-day, and then you had the 30-day sales challenge. Similar to Paige, I doubled my income like at the midnight hour, 0 hour that came in. And that was really exciting because I had not seen those numbers and didn't think that I could do that. And yeah, the pricing and everything and the learning how to sell from Nikki and from you just really boosted my confidence. And, like as people start to agree to your prices, you're like, yeah, you get a little confident. Yeah.
I can do this.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I am good at this. I do deserve to be paid for my time. Yes. And yeah, and you just really helped with my confidence and all that. But then I think the other thing that I wanted to mention too was I was very stuck in needing to control everything. And this is something that I have worked on a lot since I remember it very well. I had joined into Team Building Blueprint, and I was having a hard time coming to those phone calls that we had. And you were like, why don't you just hire a babysitter so you can come to these meetings? And like my claws came out, and I was like, what do you mean? Like I would if I could, and I just got like so controlling. No one else can watch my kids. No one else can do this. Like I have to do everything. And you were very kind. You put on your coaching hat and said, well, you said you want this for yourself and for your business. And you're telling yourself a story, which you like to tell me all the time that I tell myself stories, because I do. And
we all do, sister.
I hired that babysitter, and then I hired her to watch my kids to do more things so I could go out and do more jobs and do other things. And that was like this first step in me letting go of control which has led to now so much success in the business, honestly.
Well, tell us about it. Tell us about your success.
Yeah, I mean, it grew from me and the two lovely ladies who are still there that we now have 9 people, and I don't work hardly at all unless someone is sick or there's snow and they can't get there or something has happened. I related so much to Melanie when you were interviewing her yesterday. I was like, oh, we're the same person. Like, she's homeschooling her kids. I'm now homeschooling mine and just working from home, and how like freeing that is. But that has, I went from being stuck in like, I have to be the one doing the jobs and running the business and doing literally everything. I was like shopping for products at Target at like 10 o'clock at night because that was when I had time.
Wow.
And very stressed, to I've hired people to do the shopping for me because I don't have time because I'm homeschooling, and an assistant for myself to help me with back end stuff, plus all of these amazing organizers who love what they do and they're happy to do it, and I can let them go do it now. And we have grown like financially a huge amount, which just proved to me I do not have to do everything. We actually are better off if I don't do everything. So that has been exciting. And I say that all started with you saying, why don't you just hire a babysitter? And I was like, and now I'm like, yes, I will hire someone to do that for me. Thank you for the suggestion.
That's powerful.
It was, yes. I think I'm a different person now, just from you saying, like, it, that changed me over time. It was a lot of work, but that has changed me to be able to ask for help.
Wow.
That is not who I was originally. I had
feel
to
that
do everything.
in my soul.
So much work. So much work. Yeah.
I feel that. Thank you so much for sharing that story.
You're welcome.
That's so powerful. And I remember you telling me at one point that you were sick at one point. You took my estimating guide that I think I had just released.
Yes.
And you were able to send the estimating guide with a teammate.
Yes.
Them gather data. You come back and you were like, I still sold
Yes.
a package while I was sick in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Sent my teammate with a checklist and came back, and I'm still making money. Like, I remember that being a moment for you.
Yes. Yes. Even
now,
the Rockstar retreat in Nashville, like, I went to Nashville for 5 days and I had team working, and that was the first time I experienced that. And it wasn't like I went home and was like, okay, great. You guys are all going to work and I'm just going to vacation and travel around. Like, I kind of like earmarked it. And now 2 years later, that's what we're doing.
Wow.
And it's amazing.
Wow.
I love it. I mean, you know, some people do like to do the work. I like to do the work, but I'm being called in a different direction right now, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we are thriving, which is great. Yeah.
Really, what I love is your family is thriving because of what you've been able to create. And, you know, I don't want to tell too much of your own personal story, but a lot of it was what we started with your son. And you really wanted to create some options for him.
Yeah. And, you know, when we got to that point where we needed to pivot in our personal life, there was like a break in the road where the company was going like this. And it was like, okay, we can either close up shop because I can't homeschool and provide for him and do all the things in the business myself. Or I need to start hiring people to do other things. And that was last year, really, the beginning of 2024. And we had our first 6-figure year because I decided to go the other route and start hiring people. So
I love that.
That has, you know, and I say everyone is thriving. I'm very happy. My son is great. My daughter's great. My husband's great.
Oh.
Like, the business is great.
I love that so much for you.
Yeah.
And I love you. You know this. I'm texting you every other day.
Yes.
Well, every other month, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, sending you memes about coffee. And
yes.
I still remember that Rockstar retreat we went on together, and just you driving all the way from Pennsylvania to Nashville. And just the random hugs, you know, the random Holly hugs to Linda. And then you just waking up with your coffee and just having your like alone time on the balcony You're like,
There's
you didn't really say this, but it was kind of like nobody talked to me until I had my coffee.
The phrase in the house my husband says is no talkie before coffee. If anyone is talking to me, he's like, Mommy hasn't had her coffee yet. No talkie before coffee. So.
I love that. Well, anything else you would add to anybody who's like thinking about Rockstar organizers, maybe finds them in a similar position as you were?
Yeah, I think it was during your 5-day thing that you did. And you said something at the end of one of them about like, if you don't make the investment in yourself, why would clients invest in you? And I was like, add to cart. I will sign up for something, because that made I was like, yes, that is so true. And I feel that now. Like, I may not be in all of your things anymore. You've taught me, but I feel like every now and then, and what I love about you is you're just so giving. Like, you have so many things. There's free things. There's like little lower offer things, and then your programs, but there's always something. So, for me, it's like, I jump in every now and then. You see me sign up for things. Like, I'm just like, I need a little help right now. I'm stuck.
And I love it when you show up with your kids piled on you on the calls. It makes me happy.
There's always some way to invest in yourself that just makes things better, brings you some clarity, gives you some answers or a push that you need. And I always find that after I do that more people are willing to invest in what we're offering as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Mm-hmm. That's great advice. Yeah. One of my coaches told me that back in the day, like 2016. She's like, you basically send a signal to others that you're someone worth investing in when you believe that you're worth investing in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, that's how this world works.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty accurate. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's so good to see you. Good to see your happy face. And thanks for sharing your story. You inspire me. Sending you so much love. Toodles.
Bye.
Love Linda. All right. So what she did was worked with me back in 2022 for about a year in my level 3 program called Team Building Blueprint, and just really transformed. And something that we talked about recently, we didn't say this while she was on, but there's this period where you sometimes go down before you go up, and you've got to make some changes. And sometimes there's this, one of my other mentors, Barry, calls it the breakdown before the breakthrough. And sometimes you kind of go down and then you go up. And so part of being in a community like what I've created for organizers is it allows you the space and the people around you to maybe go down a little bit and know that you're not going to stay there, but there's people who have been where you are before, and they can tell you, oh yeah, just keep going, right around the corner, things are going to get better. You totally got this. And that's part of the beauty. So if that is speaking to you, go to jointherockstars.com. There's a quick assessment to take, and that'll give you an idea of the best next step. All right, you ready for the next person? Jen Hill. Jen Hill, welcome to the party, my friend.
Hello, hello.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. From Toledo, Ohio, with Jen Hill Organizing. So Jen is currently working with me in Team Building Blueprint. And tell us a little bit about how you got started as an organizer. Tell all the people.
Just all the story, all the things. So, I always tell people my story is so like wibbly wobbly and timey wimey. As I'm sure a lot of ours is, right?
How did that go? Wibbly wobbly and timey wimey?
Yeah, that's a Doctor Who reference for any nerds out there. You know how I am. I'm nerdy.
Jen's our resident nerd.
Yep, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I always thought I'd be a teacher growing up. I had an education degree. I worked at online school for, 4 years or so. I was kind of like, I don't think that, maybe not. I knew that organizing was a thing. I'd gone to a lady talk at a library once upon a time, and I remember sitting there going like, oh my gosh, I do these things that she's talking about. But for whatever reason, I was like, I'm not going to do that, right? I mean, that was my early 20s. I don't know. I was just like, no, I'm going to be a teacher. That's not what I'm going to do. Funny. But yeah, so I after I stopped at the school, I ended up working for a sports team. Never thought I'd work in sports, but that was fun. And it was actually a really good time for me to see of how my brain works and how it's different than other people. And my job ended up being very
Genius brain.
procedures and systems and organizing and dealing with interns and lots of turnover of people, and it's like you had to have your systems in place or else you're going to go insane, right? COVID happened. I remembered what nights and weekends were like again, so I was like, oh, this was fun. I think I'm over being in sports. And so quit my job in 2022. I was like, all right, I'm just going to open my own business because that's what you normally think.
Cold turkey, quit the job.
Yeah, you just quit the job and start your own business. That's what you do.
What you do. That's what I did.
Yeah. So like, okay, we're going to do this. And yeah, just kind of dove in, did finding anything online and, whatever, started the business. And I found you probably about 2 years in, year and 3/4 or something like that. And I was craving to go to that next level. Like I've gotten my name out there, like people know who I am. But I was quickly seeing how I could only do so much with just me. And if I wanted to make the money I wanted to make, something had to change. And I think I heard your interview or something with Melanie on her podcast. And I was like, oh, who's this lady? Okay, I'm hearing what she's saying. And like, yes, I was like, yes, and it's like, okay. And so now I'm like, Holly, what else does she have? What's going on? And, doing all the internet searching and, gosh, I mean, I think I signed up for, I think you had like a challenge happening. So I signed up for that really quick. And then
I remember that. Yeah. You came to that.
Yep. And then like, oh, she's got all these like cool resources. Well, what's this one? And maybe I'll buy that one too. And needless to say, I'm here. And I just like, Holly, just keep taking my money. Just let's keep doing this. Like, give me all the things.
As long as that means I get to keep you around.
There you go.
I love having you in our community. Jen is super consistent. She's always there, focused, attentive. Goes live every Monday to update us, and she's just in it. So what is some of the best value that you have found, over this last, what is it, about 8 or 9 months since you joined in May?
Yeah, we're getting close.
What are some of the value that you found, and what wins that has really helped you to get?
So I could easily echo everything that Paige and Linda said. Like the niching was a huge thing for me. And I think I told you this. I'm like, that was something I was struggling with for 2 years, almost 2 years. And within a weekend, 2 days, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is who I need to talk to. And it was just like this light bulb moment. I was like, dang, okay, girl. If I had to sum it all up, I'd say clarity. Clarity was a big thing. Getting more clear on, who I wanted to serve, what my goals were, what I needed to do to achieve those goals, like what are next best steps. So yeah, clarity just keeps coming back to me as like the word.
Mm-hmm. And what has this clarity allowed you to create for yourself? What kind of wins have you had?
So I have a team now, which is insane.
Awesome.
Like, it's so exciting. And my newest team member, I'm super excited about because it's my sister. I finally convinced her to like come do things with me part-time.
I love that.
Yeah, we've worked together in the past. And so like, this is a huge dream for me. Like, I really would love for her just to be like in my business and in my business, I like just all up in the business. So I'm excited for that. And it's also been cool. So I quit my job cold turkey, right? We've discussed that. It was cool because my husband was still in a job that he was able to help like support us while I got this going. And we don't have kids, so we were able to just kind of like do these things. Um, and now I'm at a point in my business where he was able now to quit his job and start his own business, which is just insanity. Two
Beautiful.
entrepreneurs in the same house. That's fun sometimes, but it's good. It's good. No, I love it. I love that he's home. Like,
He's a lot of fun.
it's so cool. It's just
Yeah,
so cool.
Jen and her husband came here to South Carolina last summer, and we got to spend maybe about a week or 4 or 5 days at least, I don't know, for the Rockstar retreat. And he came with her, and I just loved having him around. He's a lot of fun. And one of the things that I loved having Jen here for was we did what did you call it? Like a trial team training session, actually with my neighbors
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying something about how you could visualize it now. Because I
Mhm.
acted as the lead organizer and I had Jen and Emily as my assistants. And then my neighbor was the client, and in exchange, they bought us dinner. So I thought that was a fun trade. And I loved how you reflected afterwards, because I like to ask teammates afterwards, like, what are your observations? And you were reflecting on how, like, it was clicking. Okay, now I can see how you could have a few people in one space. Whereas when you've never done it before, it's like you can't even picture it. And then very quickly after that, you started hiring. And now you got some peeps. And I love that for you.
Me too. It's been great.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, well, as we wrap up here, thank you so much for sharing. And what encouragement or advice would you give to somebody who was in your position, before we met and maybe on the fence about Rockstar organizers?
I think it's something that everyone needs to evaluate of you got to put the CEO hat on, right? And if you're not investing in your business or working on your business instead of in your business, and there's got to be that balance there. And having a coaching platform where there's accountability, there's community, is so essential. Being an entrepreneur can be so lonely sometimes. And was it Paige was saying something about like the realtor groups, and there's all those other like communities. And so having people that get it, that just get what you're going through, have been there and could say, yep, done that, and here's what I did, and don't worry, this too shall pass, or like, get it, girl, because I know that was hard. Like, just having that support is so important. And if you're not willing to put on the CEO hat and work on the business, then this is just a hobby. So which one, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? And if you want to have a hobby, cool, go do that. But if you want to have a business, then have a business and be a business owner.
100%. 100%. Where's my
Get it.
emoji stick lady?
Mine right here.
Roxanne. I call her Roxanne. Yep. Oh, you got your other ones there too. I got my
I do. And then my self-made, like, yes, girl.
Praise
do
hands.
it.
Cute. That's so cute. Well, I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and absolutely adore having you in our community, and look forward to many more fun memories.
Sounds delightful. Thank you so much.
Alrighty. Jen Hill, the legend. So if that sounds interesting to you to become the CEO and work on your business, not just in your business, this is where to go. Join the Rockstars.com, take a quick assessment, see if we're a good fit, and we will get your party started. Okay, Shannon Parker, are you up? Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, Shannon Parker in the house. Hello, beautiful.
Hello.
How are
Nice
you?
to see you.
Good to see
Good,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, glad you could pop on a little bit. I was just looking at some Rockstar Organizers Live stuff from 2 years ago. Something came up in my memories that said the first Rockstar Organizers Live was 2 years ago. I was like, wow, was that only 2 years ago? And you were there. It was February 2 years
That's
ago.
when I started.
that?
Well, I didn't start Rockstar. I started with the retreat in February of 2023. So, but that was 2 years ago.
I think I was calling that Rockstar Organizers Live at the time, And there
Oh,
was
okay.
like maybe 10 of us there, maybe 8 or 10 of us. It was a very intimate group. I remember you. I
Yeah, so
remember you
there,
there.
yeah, it was a small group, which worked
Yeah.
well for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I was sick at the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to participate because I would have been working. And so
Yeah.
it just was like this like God-given like gift for me to be able to attend.
Mhm.
And it helped me so much.
Oh, good.
So
Well, tell us, how did it help you?
well, it really helped me initially with just changing the model of my business to packages really made a big difference. Instead of chasing, the $100, $200, $500 over time, I was making like very little per month, like $500,000. And instead of chasing,
$500,000?
no, 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 I wish. Okay, from your lips to God's ears.
Yes, 500K months, baby. Here she comes.
So it was it was tough, but when you talked about the package concept, that really helped me to be able to bring in more money per job and per client, but it also made it easier for me to sell. It was just like, like having waitress. I'm like, okay, do you want the hot dog special, the hamburger, or the meatloaf? Like it just made it so much easier. And I really felt like it was a great fit for me working with you. And so I dove in, and that was one of the things that really helped. And then as I got going, the tracking is another thing. I can't say I always do it, but I did bring this to show you.
Oh, look at you go.
So that's something that's really also helped. And they're just, you've provided so much in terms of like support with processes. I think that was another thing we talked about during that retreat was niching. And at the time I was working with really, like, it was mostly busy moms. And since then I've really switched to professional moms. I mean, I was working with busy moms who also happened to be professionals, but I was thinking of it more in terms of their busy moms. And now I'm realizing that the better fit for me, which, came through like some other challenge you had last fall, that, busy professionals is really a better fit for me. So there's been, but that niching work really started, a year and a half ago. And and you said, just pick one
Process.
and try it out. So at that time, like I picked busy moms. I tried it out for, a good year and a half, and I had some good success. And then, when it came to you offering another gift, which was the social media templates, then it became clear to me that my niche and better fit was the professional moms. So I've really appreciated, the templates you've provided, the different processes. I just wrote a couple notes. The scripts, the discovery call script, that's super helpful. The template for the contract, the agreement, that's super helpful. And it helped me to institute a contract. I think I'd given maybe one contract out by then, or two, and I'd already been in business a few years. I mean, I really struggled during the pandemic, and when I met you, I was in the process of rebuilding and kind of starting over in the business, restarting, rebuilding, however you want to say it. And so just being able to have those tools in place really allowed me not only a time savings, but just to be able to institute it pretty quickly. I took my agreement, I took your agreement, I'm kind of meshed those, and then I was able to like put it into place right away.
Awesome.
And then it gave me the confidence too, as somebody else talked about your payment suggestions on how we take the payments. And then I
Mhm.
was able to put that into place also,
Awesome.
which helped me have that confidence to know, oh no, this is a thing. No, you got to pay in advance. You have to at least half. This is a thing. I'm worthwhile. You're not going to regret it. You're going to love the service, and you want to be sure that that you've confirmed. And
Yeah, because
we're
those last
holding the
minute
date.
cancellations are tough when you set your whole day aside and they decide they don't want to go through just because they're procrastinating or feel uncomfortable to move forward with it. But yeah, I hear you on that deposit thing.
So that was a huge help too. So just as I've been around and learned more from you, it's been more and more helpful.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I know you've also learned from Jen. So we have a tech teacher in the program named Jen DeKel, and I know you've popped into her Tech Thursdays quite a bit, from what I remember at least. And so I'm glad that you've been able to be supported with that too, because you get the contract thing, you get the website stuff, and just having questions about how do you attach the things, how do you do the things, and we love being able to support you to get those things
Yeah.
to the finish line.
But another big, I just can't get off the call without saying that the other big way that you helped me was with knowing that there was a possibility of making bigger money and helping me to get through and make some of those breakthroughs.
Yeah, and you had one recently. Do you want to tell us about your big month recently?
Well, I had so last September I had $310 income, and in October my goal was 3,000, and I made $4,618.07.
She went above her goal.
And in November, my goal was 5,000, and I made 12,482.
Beautiful. Look at you, got all your tracking calendars there.
Yeah.
I love
So,
it.
now I just got to work on the consistency, but I want to mention and encourage people to just not give up, because the one thing that, I noticed is that September had been very hard. My son was back to school. I was working a lot on other part-time jobs, and I was making a lot of connections and contacts. But the big breakthrough that I had in October came from a contact I made last February, March.
Yep, that's how it happens.
And sold it in October. So, it's you're always saying, just have patience, just keep doing the work, just keep planting the seeds.
Exactly.
And they're not all going to come forth, but some are, and then you can reap the harvest. So that really helped me.
Yes. Well, it sounds like you could teach the next challenge with everything that you've learned. You've been listening.
Well, I got to work on that consistency.
Well, I know you're working hard at it, and you have a couple other things that you're doing in addition to organizing. So,
I am.
I think you're doing great for everything you have going on.
Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for coming on and sharing your story.
Thanks for your support and all your wonderful teaching. All right.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shannon Parka in the house. This is how you can join us. JoinTheRockstars.com, baby. Okay, last one of the night. You ready for this? Are you ready for the one and only? The one and only Erin Moreau. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You're glowing. And you look so profesh with your polo.
Well, look, I was working at a client's today, and I figured I'd just keep the shirt on, keep with the vibe.
That's totally the vibe. I'm so glad that you're here. As I was typing in your banner, I was like, okay, here we go with the Y and the I thing again. The business name has an I in it. The name has a Y in it. But, you're the same person.
Yes, and that is a conversation over a glass of wine one day. But it's a conversation.
I'll take a rain check for that next time you come through South Carolina. Yeah. Stop and
it is a conversation starter. However, it's wonderful.
I love it. Well, how are you? And would you tell us your story? Would you tell us, like, you and I talked recently, and I was just like floored by, I don't know, just so many things. But just talk to us. Just tell us your story. You're the last one, so talk as long as you want to.
Oh God, yeah, I got till the kids come running in the door.
Okay.
So I started my business, or had the idea to start my business, about 2 weeks before Marie Kondo's special came out on Netflix back in, I think, 2019. That was. I didn't know professional organizing was a thing, and I had started looking forward to, when my kids were both in school full time, what was I going to do? Who had I become? Because what I was doing before no longer interested me. And, I spent a lot of time during COVID. For those who didn't know, so I am up in Canada. So we were locked down a lot longer and a lot more frequently than a lot of other places. And I spent that time trying to learn as much as I could about organizing, and as much as I could about running a different kind of business than what I had before. And it became so overwhelming. And I felt like, once I actually launched and started seeing clients, I felt like I was just going on a wing and a prayer. Like, that's my line. Before I met Holly, it was a wing and a prayer. I was just try this, try that. I had no patience. If it didn't work, it was gone. I was like just crossing my fingers someone was going to pick up the phone and call me, or fill in send me an email and say, hey, let's chat. And it was really stressful. I was, I think my best month before I jumped both feet in with you was, I was happy if I hit like $3,000 in a month. Like, and that was like gross. That wasn't what I was bringing home. And I was happy with that. And then I put a question up in some organizers group on Facebook, and along comes this Holly girl, and she says, let's chat. And I think our first chat, we must have chatted 45 minutes or something. And I was like, this girl's got a lot. Like, there's something here. I need to look more into what she has to offer, because I was literally at the point where I didn't want to have to take on a part-time job because my business was not going anywhere. I was tired. Exactly. I think it was Jenny was talking about, I was almost treating it like a hobby, because I didn't know. I had a vision. I had the dream, but I had no direction. I had no plan. And, it was like I was treating it like a hobby at the time. And then I think the first thing I did was join one of the challenges, and I can't remember which one it was. Might have been a lead magnet one. And I was like, oh, that's what these are. Oh, this is how I do it. And it was really good. I was a bad student because I didn't do all the work. I kind of got to day, because it was a 30-day challenge, and I think I got to about day 10, and I just went, nobody's calling me. This is baloney. I'm out. Because I want it now.
10 days. I quit.
So I then I had guilt on myself, because I'm like, I paid to be a part of this, and I didn't do it. And
Well, you know what's so interesting? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
You know what's so interesting about this? You were not the only one. And there was probably 30 or 40 people in that round of reboot. I think that was last April of last year.
Yeah.
And I think there was 30 or 40 people. And I noticed that several times, that people would get gung-ho. So I went live on day 9. I was recreating.
You called us out. You called us
yeah.
out big time.
Oh, I was in a call-out mode on that challenge. I was like tagging people, putting them a colorful blast. I'm like, Erin, where you at, girl? Well,
Yeah.
I went live on day 9, and I basically gave 4 options or 5 options, and I was basically like, okay, y'all. Okay, so you signed up for this thing. I charged way less than it really should have been. And I was like over-delivering my booty off. And I'm like watching people fizzle at day 8, and I'm like, okay, so they say they want this, and yet they're not really following through. Like, what are they getting stuck on? So I went live on day 9, and I was like, how you've shown up in these first 9 days of reboot is a microcosm for how you show up in the rest of your business, people. Okay, so from this poll, pick one of these 5 options. Are you waiting on somebody to, call you out? Are you kind of like impatient and you're like, well, this hadn't worked by now? I don't know what my 5 options were, but I basically just called everybody to the carpet. You know what I mean? And that whole scenario of what you just talked about actually created a lot of freedom for people, because they could realize, oh, if I'm acting this way in like a matter of 2 weeks, and yet I'm saying I want like these certain results for this business, which a business is not a 2-week operation. It's like years. It takes years to like sow seeds. I'm preaching to the choir here. Water the seeds, harvest the seeds, like all the things. And so when you say this, I'm kind of laughing, because I'm like, yeah, that is kind of how it was. But you didn't stay that way, and that's the most important part. So continue on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I bombed that challenge because I didn't. And then I got mad at myself, and then excuse after excuse. But I kept taking advantage of the freebies that you were offering. I kept an eye on the Grow Your Business Facebook page. I still kept my stalker image. I think it was Grace who coined the Holly Stalker Club term. I am a proud member because I stalked for months after that. I would, chime in with a question here and there. I did chat this shorter challenges, and then I did another Rockstar and did it, and actually went all the way through everything. I may not have posted every day, but I promise you I did. And I was like, okay, now, we started hearing more about the planting of the seeds. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I'm now at the point that, my husband's also self-employed. So, we have a very interesting freedom schedule at our disposal here, but I wanted more. I wanted the dream and the vision I had for where I want this business to go. And I knew Holly was going to give me the foundation and the footprint and the motivation. And I don't want to say the exact steps to reach my exact goal and my exact dreams, but you've given me like all the steps to create the reality that is now becoming the dream. Like, it's now no longer a dream, it's now a goal. And to me, those are a little different, like my dream is much bigger now because the goal is almost a reality. So I jumped on to TBB in mid-August last year. And, I struggled. And then finally, I think it was on one of our training calls or accountability calls, all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I'm not giving it the time I need to do it to make this a serious thing. If I want to see these changes, and I need to put the effort in, because Holly's putting the effort into me. And she's done all this work. We've got the calls. I've got the videos. I've got the manual. I've got Holly. And I need to do this. And so I started diving in and committing a lot of time. And instead of, and I know it makes you giggle when I say, instead of sitting socializing at dance, because I spend 10 hours a week at the dance studio with my daughter, and instead of socializing, I have been sitting there. I think I started back around our Thanksgiving, which is October. I'd have my AirPods in, and I would be sitting with my phone or my iPad and my notebook, listening to Holly in my head. Holly has become that business voice in my head with her accent. I told her the other day, I even get the Southern accent in my head when I need that little boost. And I'm committing. I'm putting the hours in to sow the seeds. And it got to the point that and I think it was when I closed off December, my goal for December, knowing that I was going into Christmas. My niche is busy moms with school-age kids. So we're Christmas shopping. We are getting ready for the holidays, Christmas concerts, visits with family, the whole shebang going on. So December had traditionally been slow for me, and I wasn't expecting a lot going on. And I finished the month at $9,000. And it was like, oh my God, like this is supposed to be, it took me where my business was for the year, and I managed to not only match what I did the year before, but I increased my gross by 34%, I think it was in the end. And I was like,
Yes,
holy
you did.
crap. Like it was a holy crap moment. I was like, oh my gosh, this is working. It's the patience in doing the work and knowing it's not instant. It is not instant.
Microwavable oatmeal.
It's not instant. But it works. It's patience and it's perseverance and it's trust. It's the trust of the procedure. It's trusting, your gut. It's trusting yourself to do it and trusting the community, because the community's there to help. Like if you have a question and you put it up in the group, someone's going to answer you within minutes most of the time. And it's no longer lonely. I think Jen was saying, I kind of popped on at the end of Linda there. But it's lonely doing this on your own. Like, it's very true. And where I am, there aren't a lot of organizers in our area, and it can be lonely. And now there's a community that I've actually am thrilled to say I had the opportunity to meet a whole bunch of rock stars back in September. I'm really hoping to meet a bunch in June if I can make it work, and then again in September.
And you went up there in Canada too. Y'all had a little meetup with you.
We did. The other
Stephanie.
with Stephanie, who also joined and she only lives less than an hour away, and so we actually now we meet up once a quarter. That's awesome. And chat and support each other, because there are a couple things when you get into the TBB and the hiring and stuff. We have a couple different laws and such, and you know, we don't have. Is it 1044 you guys have or something?
1099.
Yeah, why I say 1044, I don't know, but whereas we don't have those. So we have different rules and regulations, but otherwise, I have a subcontractor. I haven't hired her yet, but I've talked to her to see if she'd be interested when I'm ready. And it's the sowing the seeds. It's knowing your niche, and it's just, I now feel like a business. I feel like I am legit.
You are too legit to quit. Hey.
I can't. Was it too legit to quit or something? I can't remember.
To quit.
I'm old. I can't remember that stuff anymore.
Shannon Parker did a reel. Not Shannon Parker. Shannon Lopez did a reel, I think a couple days ago, with a jacket from the 80s. She pulled up this like bright, teal and purple and pink windbreaker. She's like, if you got something like this in your closet, it's time to go through it, honey child. Cute.
Yeah, but they're great for those 80s parties.
That's my southern addition to that. But so tell me the real. So what has really all this meant for your life? So you've tripled your income, but like, what has that made possible for you? Why does that mean anything?
I get to pay myself.
Well, hey.
I mean, like that's it's not all going back into the business. I am actually able to contribute and take some of the stress off my husband, who is the primary provider, but I'm the one who's paying down some of the credit card debts with what I'm bringing in, instead of adding to them, because I'm like, well, I don't have any money coming in to, go get my nails done or something, but some of those things, our kids are in sports that costs money, and it feels liberating. I feel really good when I can say, oh, you know what? I can pay those competition fees instead of putting that on him. Or, just last week, my daughter is literally 2 weeks out of competition, and she needs new jazz shoes. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go get new jazz shoes. And she holds up her ballet shoes. She's like, I think I need new jazz, because her toe was literally poking through her ballet shoes. I'm like, ugh. But again,
Mama got the money.
And it didn't have to go on a credit card. And it felt,
glory be.
It felt really, really good. It's another kind of unexpected added benefit and thing I've realized through the last several months is I have really come into my own at respecting my boundaries. I know I'm important. I know that I have to respect my boundaries. On a call earlier this week, one of my wins for the week was that I fired a client. I've never done that, but I was not comfortable anymore, and I fired a client who was also a relative, and so that makes it even worse. But I learned how to respect my boundaries.
I'm laughing because I see Linda laughing in the background.
So, I mean, that's something I never would have done. I would have just done it because I was so desperate for the money.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, I don't need your money because there are plenty of other people that I'm better suited to help.
And now you're going to your time for them.
Yeah. And the other one was the sales realization was, I don't have to sell. I'm not a salesperson. I flopped life in retail because
you're funny.
I can't sell people. Like, I just don't like, I always have that sales or snake oil salesman saying in the back of my head. And so I've never been comfortable with sales. And I think it was, again, I had a lot of like big moments in October, November there. I think after I came back from Austin, that I don't have to sell to people. If they've looked at my website, which I have tweaked and everything according to Rockstar, if they've contacted me, they know my pricing. They know what I'm offering for that price. And my job then is to just let them know which one is the better package. I don't have to sell them.
There you go.
And the scripts take all that like mumble jumble word vomiting. I'm still working on the word vomiting when I'm doing my discovery calls, but I'm getting better. And the emails, like just having scripts that say, hey, we had just, 3 days after a discovery call, they haven't sent pictures. They've ghosted you.
Yeah. Like, what do you do next? Right.
What do you say? Like, without
sounding guidance, you got some guidance to take the mumble jumble into a streamlined path of sales, baby.
Yeah. Because I don't want to sell.
Yeah, exactly. You want to organize. That's why you got into this, right? You want to organize.
I want to help people now. Yeah. I want it to happen now, and I don't want to have to sell it. And it's happening that way.
It's happening now. And I believe it happened on the other side of you going all in on you.
Yeah.
We had that conversation back in August. We got on a Zoom one Sunday. I remember that.
Yep.
And you were going another path. And I was like, actually, I think I would recommend this for you. I think you might have taken a few days or a week. I don't remember. And you're like, okay, I'm in, let's do this. Yeah. And you went in on yourself. And I believe that's why you're seeing the results. Like, I've seen a big change in you in the last 9 months. Yeah. Well, since Reboot, Yeah. And I told you this isn't anything I haven't told you, but you have changed the way that you show up, and you've shown up with responsibility, and you've shown up with taking ownership for your own results. And those are the type of people who honestly get results in business, is they're not waiting on me to poke them, and they're not getting mad that they didn't get a certain email. Yeah, I make mistakes all the time, right? Probably at least 3 times a day.
We wouldn't be human otherwise.
Yes, I'm 100% human. And, I'm happy to help if I do make a mistake or if I do get something wrong. But it's the people who try to figure it out and take some initiative, like you, to go through the app. You set aside the time, you get your AirPods, you pull up the app. We've got a Rockstar Organizers app that has all the training in it that you could ever need. And then there's another archive that you could also listen to and search. And then there's Roxy, who you can ask questions to. She's our AI bot who knows everything. And there's really no excuse not to succeed, except when you don't go all in on you. You're kind of doing it for some external reason, like you think you should, or you're trying to prove something to somebody, even yourself. But going all in on you, which is what I've seen you do, is why I believe you've been able to triple your income.
and hearing you say that, it is, you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you're doing it for you. Like, when it was just a wing and a prayer, it was presenting as a wing and a prayer. I was almost feeling like I was flunking this too. And at almost 50 years old, I'm tired of flunking. I want this to work. I want to show. I have younger children for someone my age, and I want to show my kids that, not just daddy can run a successful business, mommy can do this too. And mommy loves what she does. And, it's showing them, and how I'm presenting myself now, they see it. They don't get up and assume mommy's going to be home, because today was yet another Canadian snow day. And they're like, oh, mommy, where are you going? And I'm like, no, mommy's going to work and you're staying home with daddy today. And I'm like, oh, like it was a shock to them that, I was the one who was going out to work, because daddy didn't have to go to clients' houses. He could work from home. And it feels good to be able to show that to my kids.
That's priceless.
So
I'm so proud of you.
And the fact that I can go to Florida or Cincinnati or wherever and still do discovery calls.
Come here.
I will drive through. I will stop by next time I go down that way.
You got a hug waiting for you.
So
maybe even a pot of some chicken noodle soup, honey. Yeah. Was there anything else you would add for anybody who might be on the fence or considering joining Rockstar Organizers, Erin?
I would trust yourself. It comes back to that. Trust yourself. And if you've done any of the challenges and you've done the work and you've started to see the results, it's going to happen. Trust the process, trust yourself, trust Holly, trust the group. Because you got to plant it. It's exactly that. You got to plant those seeds. Because they will become very, very fruitful flowers before you know it. And all of a sudden you'll be like, oh my gosh, like how did I have a 9,000 month sale when normally that month I'm dead? And it's fantastic. And that just keeps you motivated. That will keep you going. And you just want to do more and more. So
yes.
Just do it. Be Nike.
Be Nike. Awesome. Well, I love hearing your story. I've heard it a couple times this week, and it just gets better every time because you embody just that. I don't know how to describe it, but and you might not feel this way, but the way I see it, at least, is kind of the excited and calm forward movement, which is what it takes to be a successful business owner. Calmly move forward. Yeah, sometimes we freak out and we get anxious about stuff. That happens to all of us. But to find your excitement, to find the things that make you happy, and to keep moving forward. And I think that that's really something that you've done well.
Thank you.
Yes. And where's my heart? I'm sending you so much love.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you have an amazing evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Erin Moreau, Get Organized with Erin. Betty Ontario. Well, my friends, that's a wrap. I think we had one more, but she's in her hair appointment. Okay, yeah, she can't come, no worries. Maybe we'll get her another time. Her hairstylist was running late. But I loved hearing their stories. My heart is full. And I love helping organizers. I love the relationships that we create. I love the friendships that we have, and then being able to see them make a big difference for their family. Whether these numbers sound big or small to you, the important thing is that it's meaningful to them. And I help people with all different types of goals. Some people coming in making 500, and within a few months they're at 3,000 and they're really happy about that. Some of them come in and they're like, I'm done, stuck at 3,000. And really the 3,000 to 4,000 mark is about the point most people get stuck before they realize, okay, this is kind of cutting it, but it's kind of not. And that's really the point that I love to help people to grow, to overcome some of the fear that can come with hiring. I was scared to hire for a while. I was a little bit of a control freak. Okay, well, sometimes I still can be about certain things because I like certain things done a certain way, right? It's kind of like I have this standard. but learning to let go, like Linda was talking about. Linda, can I bring you back up? Okay, so Linda's here. She's talking about the inner control freak. What do you think are some of the things that have helped you to maybe let go of the inner control freak and hire?
Wow. I think for me, it was really, it had to happen or the business had to close. So for me, it was, I kind of struggled with it for that 2 years that I was like in your programs and things like that. I'm like, nope, I still need to be the one doing the work because no one is going to do it just quite like me. Nope, I still need to be the one doing all the things on the back end because no one is going to do it like me. I still need to be the one raising my children because no one is going to do it like me, like even give them a snack, no one's going to put Cheez-Its in a bowl like me.
I need to cut the avocado a certain way.
Yes.
To influence their nutrition.
Yes. Yes. And then you ask for help and then you get annoyed because it wasn't done the way that you wanted. And so for me, it was just, it had to happen or the business had to close.
Wow.
And so
kind of a do or die situation.
Do or die. And then just, I think it's almost like the selling thing, like you start to sell and you see it be successful. And so you get more comfortable with it and more confident with it that I think it's just, you just have to start doing it. Or you're not going to be comfortable giving up control and all that. So I think that was for me, it was like, I had to do it. So then I did it and then realized that things were okay. Clients were still happy. They didn't actually care whether I was there or not, even though I thought that they did. I really thought that they cared and they didn't. And the projects are turning out great. And we still have all 5-star reviews. And I'm like, things are still fine.
No one has died.
No one has died.
Nothing has caught fire.
Nothing bad has happened. Only good things have come from me letting go of control. And I even had a conversation with my assistant, Christy, today, who's been with me since like the very beginning. Like, she wanted me to hire her like 3 days after I opened my business. And I was like, I have no money. I cannot pay you. And now she's like practically my partner almost.
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, you've asked me to do this for you. Are you going to get mad if I don't do it a certain way? And I was like, girl, I do not care. I just don't want to do this myself. I don't care how it turns out. I trust you. It will be fine. And she was like, wow, you have come a long way. Yes, I have.
Wow.
Happy to get that off my plate. I don't have the capacity for it. And yeah, it's been very rewarding hiring and
sounds like it. Sounds like you found some freedom in letting go of some of that control.
Yes. Yes.
And
I've also learned like my own niche, like not just for who we like to work with, but actually like what I want to be doing and I actually really like being the boss. I like being the CEO.
Of course you like being the boss.
Of course I'd like being the boss.
I think it's a typical organizer type A trait. Because we can see the vision. We can see all the parts, right? We walk into a messy room. Yes. We can immediately start synthesizing, okay, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. So it's almost like when somebody else comes in with a different vision, it's kind of like, oh, no, that's not the vision. If you do that, that's not going to meet the vision. But one of the things that I found with letting go of control, and I've hired a lot of people, probably over 50 people over the last like 10 years to do different types of stuff, different teammates, different employees, different contractors. Everybody's got their own personality. Everybody's got their own style. But one of the things that I learned that has helped me continue with this journey is to align on vision. Yes. Okay, so we've got the same idea of success. The client is happy. We're not cutting corners. We're doing a full, excellent job, having a standard of excellence, and also not a standard of perfectionism. That's something I have to constantly check myself on. Even like if my assistant sends out my email, I don't even know how to use my own CRM email system yet. My assistant still sends them out. I give her the text of what to say, but sometimes a typo will go out and I get my own emails and I'm like, oh, and like, it does not matter, Holly. It does not matter. It just does not matter. Let it go. And the more that we can give someone a chance to align with that version of success and then to do it, and like you said, do it again and do it again, do it again. It's like it kind of calms the,
your
I
nervous
call it
system.
the inner control freak, the nervous system.
Calms the central nervous system down.
Lord help us. We all need some calming of the central nervous system.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I think we all go to that, like, well, the worst case scenario thing, instead of just letting things play out and seeing that, like you said, no one died. It was all fine. It's all good. As Pete the cat says, it's all groovy.
Pete the cat.
Cat. We love Pete the cat over here. It's all groovy. He is so chill and so cool. We're just groovy over here.
Just
No one
groovy.
died. It's all
I'll have to
groovy.
take some lessons from Pete. I need to look him up. I don't know who that is, but
Cat, oh, he's good.
sounds kind of like a version of Daniel Tiger in a way. I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, they're both cats. My nephews used to like Daniel Tiger. I don't know what they're really into these days. Then they were into like Paw Patrol for a while, and they live in Texas. I haven't really caught up on their current cartoons, but now that we
Bluey.
yes.
Bluey's a big one.
Bluey.
Bluey. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Yeah, those young years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so happy for you. I guess I'll end with this. I'm just so happy for you, Linda, that you've been able to make it work for both your business and your family.
Right.
That's something that a
Right.
lot of people want.
And I shared with you, I have been paying the mortgage since October, which just feels like so good. I'm like,
How does it feel?
feels so good after like 7 years of not even paying myself, And now I'm like, I'm paying the mortgage and I'm paying for the kids' school, and because my daughter still goes pre-K, like I pay her tuition, and it's real money. It's a real thing.
Not a hobby anymore.
Not a hobby anymore. Who was it that was like, it's legit.
Too legit.
Yes.
That's aging us. I think we're around the same age.
Yeah.
I was born in 84. When were you born?
82.
Okay, yeah, we're right around the same age.
Mhm.
Yes, we grew up with the whole New Kids on the Block
Oh,
and
yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Backstreet's back. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I love every chance we get to connect.
Yes, it's always lovely chatting.
Absolutely. And for all the lovely people listening, and Shannon, who is still here, Shannon, I'm going to bring you up and we'll all wave goodbye. All right. Bye, rock stars.
Bye.
Come join us. We're a lot of fun. Toodles.